A very good morning to all of you. You're watching Breakfast News. My name is Aditi Nagpal Girotra. Let's get the bulletin rolling with the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Global Investors Meet at Dharamshala. Over 1,800 investors from 16 countries to attend the meet. State government targeting investment worth 85,000 crore rupees. Welcome relief for affected home buyers. Union Cabinet approves move to revive over 1,600 projects covering 4.58 lakh housing units. Centre to put 10,000 crore in real estate market. LIC and SBI to contribute 15,000 crore. BSNL rolls out voluntary retirement schemes for employees, expects 80,000 personnel to opt for it. Scheme to be open till 3rd of December. Government formation efforts intensify in Maharashtra. State BJP leaders to meet the governor today. Shiv Sena Chief Uddhav Thackeray calls a meeting of newly elected MLAs. NCP's Sharad Pawar asserts that his party is not in the race. India remembers Nobel-winning physicist Sir C.V. Raman on his birth anniversary. Students at India International Science Festival in Kolkata to attempt world record for most people assembling radio kits to dedicate it to Raman J.C. Bose. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the two-day Global Investors Meet at Dharamshala in Himachal Pradesh today. Himachal Pradesh government is organizing the event to attract investment and create employment opportunities in the state. As many as 209 foreign delegates, along with local entrepreneurs, are expected to attend the mega event. Ambassadors are also participating in the meet. Home Minister Amit Shah, Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari, Railways and Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal will also participate in the meet.
सभी विभागों ने जो महत्वपूर्ण तैयारियां हैं वो करीब हो रही हैं। आज हमारे बहुत सारे इन्वेस्टर्स पहुंच रहे हैं। हम उत्सुकता से इंतजार कर रहे हैं कि ये जो मीट है वो बहुत अच्छी रहे। जो इन्वेस्टर्स यहां आए हैं उनसे हमारे सभी विभाग इंटरेक्शन करेंगे, उनको जो जानकारी चाहिए वो उनको प्रदान करेंगे, जिससे कि जिस एक्सपेक्टेशन से वो आए हैं उस एक्सपेक्टेशन के अनुसार से हम फील्ड में उनको मौके पर काम शुरू करवाने के लिए प्रोत्साहित कर सकें और जो उनकी एक्सपेक्टेशंस हैं उनको पूरा कर सकें। करीबन 1700 इन्वेस्टर्स यहां आने की संभावना है।
अगर हम हाइड्रो पावर सेक्टर की बात करें तो पूरे कंट्री में भारतवर्ष में 150 गीगावाट का पोटेंशियल है, जिसमें से अभी तक करीब 45 गीगावाट हार्नेस हुआ है। उस 45 गीगावाट में से 10.5 गीगावाट हिमाचल में ही हार्नेस हुआ है और हिमाचल में टोटल पोटेंशियल जो है हाइड्रो पावर का वो हार्नेसेबल 23.5 गीगावाट है। अभी कुछ प्रोजेक्ट अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन है, लेकिन बाकी प्रोजेक्ट जो है उसमें अभी इन्वेस्टमेंट वो नहीं आ रही थी। तो हिमाचल प्रदेश ने इसमें इंसेंटिव्स दिए हैं डेवलपर्स के लिए इन टर्म्स ऑफ डेफर्ड फ्री पावर, reimbursement of state GST.
Let's connect with our news correspondent Ravinder Sharon on this news. Ravinder, what are the objectives and investment targets of this summit?
Good morning. The Himachal Pradesh government basically is trying to woo the more and more investors to come and invest here in this hill state of the northern India. And the present dispensation of the BJP government, they are quite hopeful that this time more and more investment will come, as the government since 2017 the present dispensation has taken over from the Congress government, and they are saying that they have brought a lot of new policies for the benefit of the investors, and that could infuse Pollyanna among the investors so that they can come here and invest money to get maximum profit. The government is also trying to give a lot of incentives to the investors in terms of one window policy, so that they can they can get all the clearance from the one window only, and which will reduce their time. Also, a lot of incentives in terms of GST and other taxes relaxation as well. So this investment meet, the government is optimistic that this time they will be able to get at least 85,000 crores of investment through this investors meet in this hill state, and this it will be one of the biggest achievement of the present government, as this is happening for the first time in the history of Himachal Pradesh. Such kind of meet is happening, and it will further boost the prospectus of the employment generation, and new avenues will be open so that people who are they are forced to migrate in search of employment to the other state, they will be stopped here and they can earn their money here back home. And also those who have already immigrated to some other countries, they can also be brought back. So this is the way the government is trying to woo the investors with lot of incentives. More than 1,800 investors are expected to come here. Around 20 countries are participating. Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself will come here and inaugurate the investors meet. And on the closing day, the Home Minister Amit Shah will come here. And the government is quite hopeful that they will be able to get good amount of investment from this investors meet. Aditi.
Right, Ravinder. Thank you so much for that information. The government on Wednesday approved setting up of a rupee 25,000 crore bailout fund to finance 1,600 stalled housing projects. The decision was approved by the Union Cabinet at a meeting held under the chairmanship of Prime Minister. Announcing the decision, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said the government will put in rupees 10,000 crore in this alternative investment fund. She added SBI and LIC would also provide rupees 50,000 crore, taking the total size to rupees 25,000 crore. This will finance 1,600 stalled housing projects comprising 4.58 lakh housing units across the country.
Is a special window which is to be structured as an alternative investment fund, as an AIS, which will pool all these investments. Government gives 10,000 crores. We've already spoken with, say, institutions like the SBI, LIC and so on, who together will also put in money, which I think will touch 25,000 crores. SBI and LIC, we've spoken, and others also will join in. But this will be kept open. There are a lot of sovereign funds also who have expressed interest to come into it. Gradually, we'll keep adding to the AIF corpus.
The Finance Minister said RERA-registered incomplete projects will be funded till the finishing stage through an escrow fund. She added projects declared NPA or those not declared liquidation worthy by NCLT will also benefit from this initiative.
रेरा में रजिस्टर्ड जो भी इनकम्प्लीट प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, उनको एक प्रोफेशनल अप्रोच के तहत नेट वर्थ पॉजिटिव जिनका है, मतलब कुछ I have sold some flats, I have many more to sell, I have assets, ऐसे नेट वर्थ उनका असेसमेंट करने के बाद those projects will get funded for the last finishing stage tak. 70% complete, 30% incomplete. For completing the 30% incomplete, this money will go to the escrow, not as a lump sum at one go. One stage tak, you need this much, you take that much. That is complete, you take some more. Third stage, you need some more, you take like that. In stages, up to the stage that they complete, we give the money. So that once the handover happens, the home buyer takes it and he is now no longer got to worry about his project complete hoga ki nahi hoga. Agar ye NPA bhi ho, this project has already been declared an NPA, even then they can benefit from this.
Food and Consumer Affairs Minister Ramvilas Paswan on Wednesday reviewed the prices and availability of onions across the country. He held a review meeting with Consumer Affairs and Food Secretary and other senior officials, during which several steps taken by the government to curb price rise along with reasons for the increase in prices were discussed. The minister added onion prices have shot up to Rs 80 per kilo in the retail market due to 30 to 40% decline in domestic production, and the government is taking all steps to contain the price rise. Paswan said the government is making efforts to facilitate imports through private trade from Afghanistan, Egypt, Turkey and Iran. The Agriculture Ministry has also asked to liberalize import norms.
इसका तो मेन कारण ये है कि एक तो मौसम जो है बहुत लेट से आया, उसके कारण से बुआई लेट से हुई और उसमें आवागमन में देरी हुई। मुख्य कारण है कि जो डिमांड और सप्लाई होता है कि मांग कितनी है, आपूर्ति कितनी है, वो दोनों में काफ़ी अंतर है। 30 से 40% जो इस बार जैसा प्रोडक्शन के उत्पादन कम हुआ है। हमने अपने विदेश मंत्रालय से कहा है कि इजिप्ट है, अफ़गानिस्तान है, टर्की है, ईरान है, ये जो चारों कंट्रीज हैं, यहाँ से क्या कहते हैं कि वो बात करें वहाँ की सरकार से।
BJP MP Rita Bahaguna Joshi was elected chairperson of the Joint Committee on Salaries and Allowances of MPs for 2019-2020. The decision was taken unanimously by the 15-member committee on Wednesday. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu nominated MP Prasanna Acharya as a member of the Content Advisory Committee of Rajya Sabha TV. He has been appointed in place of MP Achyutananda Samant, who has been elected as member of the 17th Lok Sabha. Now an update on pollution situation in Delhi NCR. Pollution levels have dipped considerably but remain very unhealthy in the national capital and adjoining areas. The reduction in pollution levels is attributed to high wind speed, arrival of western disturbance and dip in stubble burning. On Wednesday, the Supreme Court came down heavily on the Punjab-Haryana governments for their failure to implement an action plan to curb stubble burning. A two-judge bench gave authorities 7 days to formulate a plan to buy crop from cultivators. It directed Punjab, Haryana, UP to give incentives, subsidized machinery to farmers for the same. The Apex Court bench, comprising Justices Arun Mishra and Deepak Gupta, criticized the Punjab Chief Secretary for passing the buck to the centre and said it was a question of life and death for crores in Delhi NCR. The bench also questioned the Chief Secretary of Haryana over stubble burning. The bench said authorities have to be held responsible for their failure to curb stubble burning, adding if they aren't concerned with the public, they have no right to be in power. And now let's talk about environment and climate change. A global group of around 11,000 scientists from 153 countries have declared a climate emergency. Their research, based on 40 years of data on range of measures, says that governments across the world have failed to address the crisis. The inability to act or respond to the impacts of climate change by reducing carbon emissions, reducing the livestock production, reducing land clearing and fossil fuel consumption has led to this emergency. Some progress has been made in some areas. For example, renewable energy has grown significantly, with consumption of wind and solar energy increasing by 373% per decade. But it was still 28 times smaller than fossil fuel usage in 2018. With governments adopting new policies, school children going for strikes, lawsuits proceeding, and grassroots citizen movements demanding change, there is still a ray of hope to avert this crisis. With this, we'll halt in for a quick break, but we'll be back soon. Stay tuned with us.
Art arisen from a multi-hued cultural canvas. Tradition and cultural fervour dating back centuries. And encircling them all, there's a magic that awes. Embrace your nation's brilliant human warmth. Watch Colours of India, Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha Television.
Welcome back. You're still with us on Breakfast News. Jammu and Kashmir administration has invited experts to identify potential locations for adventure sports to promote tourism. The travel and tourism industry has welcomed centre's move to bifurcate Jammu and Kashmir from Ladakh and to make the two regions separate union territories. Here's the report.
With the onset of winter, picturesque Jammu and Kashmir is open for tourists, both domestic and international. The Jammu and Kashmir administration is gearing up for what will be the first tourism season after Article 370 was scrapped and the state was made a union territory. The administration is also renewing efforts to secure a spot for the celebrated Kashmir Gardens in the UNESCO World Heritage Sites list.
Tourism is one of the key sectors of the state. We have all kinds of tourism. We have religious tourism, we have adventure tourism, we have a number of heritage places, and tourism has been traditionally strong in all three regions, in Jammu, in Kashmir and Ladakh. We are hopeful that we will get much more investment. We are also trying to ensure that we pump in more public investment.
While Kashmir has the potential to become a prominent tourist destination in Asia, Article 370 and 35A had been seen as the barriers to this.
जो भी यहाँ पे आना चाहते हैं बिल्कुल सेफ है कश्मीर, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, आप आराम से आ सकते हो और अपना टूर कर सकते हो आराम से, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, बिल्कुल सेफ है, आप आ सकते हो यहाँ पे.
The Modi government took the historic decision of revoking Article 370 of the Constitution that granted special status to Jammu and Kashmir. The landmark decision meant there would be no separate constitution for Jammu and Kashmir. The concept of permanent residence has also been ended, which means that restrictions on citizens who reside outside J&K with regard to employment, acquisition of immovable property, settlement and scholarships and other aid are no longer valid.
Tourism also caters to a host of other allied activities like handloom, handicraft, transport, hospitality and hotels. With a host of other central sector schemes being unveiled in Jammu and Kashmir, it is expected that the tourism sector will get an unprecedented push. Reporting from Srinagar with camera person Junaid Iqbal Khan, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
As the incumbent Maharashtra Assembly's term nears its November 9 deadline, efforts to form government have gained momentum. State BJP leaders will meet Governor Bhagat Singh Koshyari today to convey a message approved by BJP leader and CM Devendra Fadnavis. Uddhav Thackeray will also meet Shiv Sena MLAs today. Meanwhile, NCP President Sharad Pawar on Wednesday asserted that his party and its ally Congress will work as a responsible opposition and the ruling BJP and Shiv Sena to form government in Maharashtra. Addressing a press conference in Mumbai after meeting senior Shiv Sena leader and Rajya Sabha MP Sanjay Rawat, Pawar ruled out joining the Uddhav Thackeray-led party in government with the outside support of the Congress.
No, where is the question? Where is the question? You see, Sena and BJP has alliance for the last 25 years. So we are confident that they will today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, they will come together. No, I don't see any other option. Option is only one. And that option is BJP Sena should form government as early as possible and they should remove this framework.
Very severe cyclonic storm Maha has weakened into a severe cyclonic storm and is likely to weaken further into a cyclonic storm by today. But it'll cause light to moderate rains in parts of Maharashtra. According to Met, central Maharashtra, Thane and Palghar districts will receive light to moderate showers due to the cyclonic storm hovering in the Arabian Sea. Sea conditions will remain rough and fishermen have been advised not to venture in the sea.
अभी ये सीवियर साइक्लोनिक स्टॉर्म है वहाँ अभी जो लोकेटेड है ईस्ट सेंट्रल अरेबियन सी एंड एडजॉइनिंग नॉर्थ ईस्ट अरेबियन सी अभी ये और भी वीकनिंग हो जाएगा हम ग्रेजुअली यही लाइन बोल रहा है कि ये बहुत ज़्यादा वीकनिंग हो जाएगा उसके बाद इसका जो है ईस्ट नॉर्थ ईस्टवर्ड मूवमेंट होगा सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि ये सौराष्ट्र कोस्ट को हिट नहीं करेगा इसको अवॉइड कर जाएगा
BSNL on Wednesday notified its Voluntary Retirement Scheme 2019 for its employees who are above the age of 50. According to BSNL, an estimated 70,000 to 80,000 persons will opt for the scheme that will help save rupees 7,000 crore in the form of wages to be paid. The ex gratia amount for the eligible employee will be equal to their 35-day salary for each completed year of service. The amount of ex gratia for any eligible employee will be equal to 35 days salary for each completed year of service and 25 days salary for every year of service left until superannuation. The scheme will be open between November 4th and December 3rd and comes within days of government approving a relief package for the ailing corporation. The other government-run telecom operator MTNL, which operates only in Delhi and Mumbai too, has rolled out a VRS for its employees. On the third day of the ongoing India International Science Festival in Kolkata, the students will look to achieve another world record today. Over 400 students will attempt to create the Guinness World Record for most people assembling radio kits simultaneously. The record will be dedicated to J.C. Bose, who was first behind the science to capture radio waves. On Wednesday, students paid tribute to Nobel laureate physicist C.V. Raman, a day ahead of his birth anniversary. Over 1,598 students created a Guinness World Record for the largest astrophysics lesson and assembly of spectroscopes, dedicating it to C.V. Raman and Meghnad Saha. Now in cricket news, India will play Bangladesh in the second T20 International of the three-match series at Rajkot in Gujarat today. The match will start at 7 p.m. Bangladesh had defeated India on Sunday by 7 wickets in the first 2020 of the three-match series. Bangladesh registered first ever win over India in T20 internationals. Team India needs to win this match to stay in the series. And with this, it's a wrap on this edition of Breakfast News. Thank you for your time.